Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Those of you that were here this morning for the Salt Lake City review, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. Team Replay, thank you. As you come in, please click the like button. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate that so much. You can see my beautiful backdrop, which is my little internet niece. I have quite a few. This is one of them. That's Angel Reese. That's her during the All-Star game in her own merch. She's on her own t-shirt. She's sitting there just minding her beautiful black-owned business. Then there's different views on what this lady right here is thinking behind her. Let me see if I can show you her face real quick. And then we'll go back. Let me see. And the reason why I do this, everybody, while I'm on live, because I'm getting used to working with StreamYard more and more. Okay, so hopefully you can still hear me, but I wanted you to see that face. So Angel, I'm going to put Angel as if she's Black people. And I'm going to put this lady as she's another demographic, okay? So that's us just thinking, living our best life, minding our business. And then that's what we get on the side, okay? So that's just a backdrop that's funny, but not really funny. Those of you that can see the title, this is Are We Great Yet? And I really like to know that. Does anybody think we're great yet? I kind of don't. I don't know that we'll ever be great. I don't know that we are. I'm afraid kind of that we might be on the downswing. I don't know. So this is October 14th is a date that is coming up. I heard that Congress, what they actually did was voted to honor a person that one of his own, somebody that looks just like him, gave him his, what do I call it? I don't even know. Well, I said he was in an onboarding process for hell. He may have completed that. Just depends on how long the training is. So that person is doing that. They had a state funeral for the person. So where do they even do that at? They had a state funeral for this person. Okay, they fired a big name person or suspended him indefinitely. As we know, that person is Jimmy Kimmel. He's back. I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. I see Jimmy Kimmel in clips and things like that. But to be honest, y'all, we've talked about earlier in the year. I had the opportunity. I was out of sight. I was laying low. I was in St. Thomas enjoying myself with a group of ladies during the election, not during the election, but actually during I guess they were having the ceremony for swearing the orange clown in for the second time. And I was with a group of people that we didn't go for that. I was with, other members of the 92%. So I want to know, are we great yet? If anyone says we are, I'd love to know why they think that. Patricia Winters saying, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in to my short political discourse. We have Cece, which is one of my moderators. She's saying hello. She's saying she doesn't watch Kimmel either. And honestly, as far as the freedom of speech type thing, I heard what he said about that person that was taken out by somebody that looks just like him and is one of them and was trained by him. So I really don't care anything about that. I know we paid for that funeral. I know they flew the person on Air Force 2. I think that is unprecedented. I don't know how anybody thinks that's okay. Some of the people that I actually not look up to, but I like a little bit. I like Hakeem Jeffries, minority leader. I don't know why he would vote to want something like that. And, certain things that he's saying. Even Kimmel last night, a few clips that I saw, he's like, all of the people that were helping me come back, Candace Owen, trying to be this middle of the road, middle ground person. But what we had talked about over here, and a lot of you were here and hopefully remember, we talked about the 300,000 Black women that lost jobs. The beginning of this administration was targeting when they were going around with a chainsaw and laughing and making fun and cutting whole departments and causing as much damage as they could. Yet when it comes time to stand up for somebody like Jimmy Kimmel, make no mistake about it, that man don't need that job. He didn't miss that job. He can go home with his family. He can live his best life. I honestly don't give a care about Jimmy Kimmel. I don't. I'm going to say something that is a little bit embarrassing. I would have been on board to cancel Disney and Hulu and all of that. As it stands now, I still have it, y'all. I can't find out where these kids subscribe to that. Okay? I can't get in. I can't do none of that. Somebody bought a Disney movie. Somebody got on the Disney plan, and it comes out of my account, but I can't get off of it. So I'm going to work on that. I'm actually going to enlist a couple people to help me. Y'all know that I'm not tech savvy. And that's not even a Gen X thing, not being tech savvy. That's only some of us. Some of us have really worked to be able to do all that. I'm one of them that have not. Technology is, it can be convenient for me. I don't really care about it that much unless it's causing me to not do something I want to do. Welcome everyone that's coming in. Sharon Gaba, welcome back. Thank you so much. She is speaking to the chat, waving to everyone that was not here earlier that she didn't get to speak to. Anyone in the bushes, thank you so much for coming in. And that backdrop, you see the beautiful Angel Reese. I'm using her in the place of all Black people, like the WNBA does sometimes. And then the other lady is the ones that's always hating on us for no reason. And I'm also going to speak on my niece, my internet niece, Representative Jasmine Crockett, who is being harassed again, talked crazy about by someone who, y'all, this lady her face is so scary to me. She's a nut. It's Laura Loomer. The only thing I know of her is that she had a podcast. She talks like the person who was taken out of here by one of his own. She talks kind of like he talks. And she tries to stir up trouble. She does all kind of stuff. But she ended up calling our niece Jasmine something about a ghetto, or she hates that there's ghetto people in Congress. Because Jasmine was calling out that resolution that they had for this person and trying to make people mourn a certain way, if at all. I didn't mourn at all. I don't care. And as far as the person's widow, y'all saw the hatred she spewed. So I don't care anything about her. His kids, they probably grow up to be just like that. I don't care anything about them. But this lady was saying that she hates that Congress has to have ghetto people in it. There's nothing ghetto about Representative Crockett. She has her Juris Doctorate. She is an attorney. She is an elected official. She always has her facts together. And I hate when people put her on the same level as some of these other people. Like they'll talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and then bring up Representative Crockett. Marjorie Taylor Greene owns a gym. Okay, she took over $200,000 in PPP money, and she also got that forgiven. Same time, this is the person that was against student loans and all that being forgiven. So she's not on the level of Representative Crockett. And Laura Loomer certainly is not. She's a podcaster, a failed podcaster, because I had never heard about her podcast. I would just see her face. She has one of those weird looking faces. I don't know what she has done to it, but it looks kind of like a caricature. But I could look at her, in my opinion, it looks like there's something else going on. Let me put a banner up, because I'm not qualified to diagnose anybody, but this is just my opinion. She looks like there's something going on that is not on the up and up. Sharon, you never watch Kimmel? Yeah, they love themselves some Kimmel, honey. I don't care. I would see clips of him that other people show, but I don't care about it. But what bothers me is that they always expect Black women, the 92% of the people that know how to do it, know how to protest, know how to target, to get out there. Speaking of target, get out there and actually get things done. And we have said that we're tired of doing it. We're resting right now. I mean, we're strategically doing other things, but it's more, to me, community focused. As far as like on a big grand scale, I don't care. I don't care about Kimmel, his job. And I think it would have been nice during his monologue. Now, admittedly, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think I will be correct in believing that he didn't say anything about the 300,000 Black women that lost jobs during the early months of this administration. And I think we're still on the chopping board. I think we still are. So when I was talking about that resolution where they're trying to make this person into something else, comparing him to MLK, this person was no MLK. Actually, I did not know this person was in his 30s. I thought he was a smooth 47. Hands to God, I thought this man was a smooth 47. I didn't know he was in his early 30s. Oh my goodness. I guess hate ages you. That's one of the theories. I don't know if that's true or not, but he didn't look 32 to me. He didn't. So they're trying to make him into something to be honored. One of the things Jimmy Kimmel got in trouble for was I think he quoted this person's own words. So that tells you how hate-filled he was. Another thing this person would do is go around the college campuses. They had his business was Turning Point USA. They would go around to college campuses and try to debate college kids. Here's this grown man with a family debating college kids on politics. Maybe that's why they would call him a politician. He never ran for anything, so he never won anything, and he didn't hold any seat. So he was not an elected official, even though they flew his carcass on body. Okay, I won't say that. They flew his body on Air Force Two, and we paid for that. I don't know why everybody was praising the wife. She's just as hateful as her husband was. Yes, and these people are so hypocritical. You don't even know where to go with that, because he's supposed to be this big time Christian man. Not true. He encouraged hate. This person that actually ended up taking him out remind me a lot of him, and I think that he probably listened to him in his past. I think recently they said he might have become disillusioned with that, or what I think, this is what I've heard, this is my opinion. This person thinks that, I'll call him his last name, Kirk, that he wasn't right-wing enough. So that could be it. I don't know. There's also theories on Netanyahu, Israel. We don't know what has happened. This is just crazy. The whole thing, the whole freedom of speech, all this kind of stuff. But again, I'm not going to lift Jimmy Kimmel up and make him as anybody that is somebody that I have to fight for his job. I don't care anything about his job. I'd like him to speak on Black women, but he's not. That's not even his place. I don't expect him to do that. But I watched a lot of Black women celebrities say they're fighting for him, and congratulations, Jim, Kerry Washington, people like that, Sherry Shepherd. But we'll see if Jimmy stands for them. I don't think he will. So October 14th, one of the resolutions that passed, they're going to use that as a day of remembrance or a day of honor for this person. He doesn't deserve it. What October 14th is and what my thumbnail is, that is the day that Martin Luther King Jr., who he's been gone since 1968. I can hardly believe that, but he's been gone since 1968, taken out of here, stricken down way too soon. Now, he was an actual Christian, unlike this other person who they've had to scrub his views from websites, because we know there's nothing Christian about this other person. But Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., left a loving wife, left 4 children. Coretta Scott King never remarried. And we lost her. I think she was in her 70s. She had cancer. And toward the end, I remember Yolanda King took her to Mexico. They were trying to get any kind of treatment that they could. At that point, they had went to therapeutic type treatments, but we still lost Coretta Scott King. But Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Christian. And they would also, this administration wants to release the FBI files, because he was under surveillance for the past few years of his life. And a lot of it focused on his private life, which church people, I think, kind of know and knew what a lot of preachers get up to when they're traveling and on the road. I have to say, I don't really care about that. I don't know what arrangement he had with his wife. I know she still loved him to her last breath. And I know all of his children loved him. And I don't like the fact that the FBI was used to try to make this man look other than what he was. But October 14th is when he found out that he was getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, the youngest person to ever receive it. It came with I don't want to be wrong about the amount, but it came with a small amount, a stipend. So we know Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was not someone that was rich, though he was very educated. He had his doctorate. He was very smart. So at 35, he became the youngest recipient. He dedicated the award. Oh, I didn't know this part. And the prize money to the ongoing fight for civil rights. I was hoping he had taken that and done something nice for himself and his family. Oh, it was $54,000. So the award was a recognition of the broader struggle for civil rights. And King pledged the $54,000 prize money to support the movement's work. Now, one thing I do know is that he was very good friends with a lot of celebrities like Harry Belafonte, and that they would send him annually, him and his family, to San Juan. They would go down to Puerto Rico, and he would just get a chance to decompress and just kind of let his mind rest, because we know that he actually was a target, and he was a target that they actually ended up taking from us. So for this person that they're trying to honor and trying to use these dates that are somebody else's dates because they don't have an original bone in their body. I was disgusted when I found out what the significance of October 14th was. So on that day, if I'm live at all, it will be about Martin Luther King Jr. and his Nobel Peace Prize. It won't be anything about this person. And let me see what else. I've just pulled out a lot of different things about him. So American Civil Rights Movement, we know that he was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, that the nonviolence part is the part that Martin Luther King Jr. took from him, but we know there are a lot of things about Gandhi. Again, if you scratch the surface of any leader, you're going to find some things that aren't great. But he supposedly had a lot of views that were not great either, other than the nonviolence, okay? So they say he might have been a little R word, ending in cyst. I hate to hear that, but India has its own problems as far as with the caste system and that sort of thing. So let's see what else about Martin Luther King Jr. His work and philosophy of nonviolence continue to inspire global movements for equality and justice, making him a pivotal figure in 20th century history. So that's what I want to say about Martin Luther King Jr. And I say, are we great yet? No, we're not great yet. In New York, we know the UN is meeting. The Orange Clown gave a speech. It was a terrible speech. I saw clips of it. I can barely watch him because watching him slur and tremble, somebody put the teleprompter out. Remember, he used to always get on President Obama about using the teleprompter. We find out he uses a teleprompter because he had dead silence for a good 20 seconds, which is actually a long time when you're supposed to be speaking. And they're trying to find out who was responsible for that. You saw he and Melania tried to get on an escalator. The second they stepped in front of the escalator stopped working. And there was one next to them that was working, but she just stomped up the steps. I felt like she should have went to the one that was working. Not that they wouldn't have stopped that one too, but she walked up the steps, and then we know his balance is off and he's in really terrible shape. He made it up there, but he looked like he was climbing a hill. But I enjoyed seeing that. I like to see that. The chat determined the other week that it is not bad to make fun of him, or it's not elder abuse either to make fun of him. Anything bad that happens to the Orange Clown, he actually deserves. He's in the process of doing so much damage to so many people. Even little kids know that. My little niece is 7. And he came on or something, and she said the last time he was up there, a lot of people died. And I'm like, Dad, even she at 7 knows that. So that's true. He's picking at Tylenol. He's opening the door for a lot of people to sue Tylenol. He's lying on them that if someone took Tylenol while they were pregnant, that could have caused autism. I don't know that we know the cause for autism. So I just hope that women that have had children that are autistic, that they don't think that they did something wrong during pregnancy to cause that. This man is a menace. He came up with that with RFK. I was talking about him the other week. Terrible. The whole thing, disgusting. So I wanted to just put that out there about Martin Luther King Jr. Let's see. I've already brought up Jasmine Crockett. Let me see if there's anything else. She was questioning Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, and he was becoming undone. She was reading a bunch of facts and stuff to him, which kind of breaks their brain. And he is a cockeyed menace, y'all. Listening to that man speak, there's something else going on with those eyes and with just the way he speaks. There's something else going on. I think a lot of people in that administration, in my opinion, have some type of substance problem. We know RFK admitted that he was on heroin for the better part of 2 decades. And Mama Bees, she's one of the moderators, was in here the other week saying that he had admitted also to at one point in time smoking crack, at least once. But I've never heard of a person who smoked crack one time. So I'll just leave that where it is. And then let me see if there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. So Jimmy Kimmel did get his job back. The 300,000 plus Black women so far have not. And then there was one more funny thing. Kash Patel, who is the FBI director. He's also being questioned by Senator Booker. That's another one. I don't know what to make of him sometime. I really don't. So they were saying that he's just unqualified. He's one of the most unqualified people in that administration. That is saying something. But he wrote a note to himself. I was trying to find out I just saw it and I lost it. I'm sorry, y'all. But the note said something of, it was kind of like a pep talk. He was saying, you held ground. You held your ground. Okay, let me see if I can see this. It says, good fight with Swalwell. That's Eric Swalwell. He said, hold the line, brush off their partisan attacks, rise above. And then I can't see what else he said. Director Patel. Oh, he must have had that made. He must have had that note paper made with his name on it. I don't know if you can see that. A handwritten note. And everybody knows if you're on TV, he shouldn't have had that note where the cameras and everything could catch it. It's just ridiculous. Sharon Gabo said, I'm praising and celebrating the history and accomplishments of Black people. Let the clear people handle their problems. They voted for the orange man. Yeah, that's something else that's going to come up within, I think, a few more weeks. Right now they're having one of those resolutions where they want to keep the government open, and there's a whole set of people that want to close it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm like you, Sharon. If you voted for it, you got exactly what you wanted. But we've been talking about the farmers still crying in line, acting like they had nothing to do with this. But when you look at the exit polls, they voted for this man upwards of 70%. So that is a mess. 70%, y'all. So this is a short political discourse. It's something that I work on. I try to aim to do probably, let's say, 2 to 3 a week. So we are under 30 minutes, but really all I had was, are we great yet? I wanted to speak about the significance of October 14th. Also, Martin Luther King Jr., how he influenced that date, October 14th. That's when he found out that he got the Nobel Peace Prize, the youngest person to receive it. I wanted to encourage and speak positively of Representative Jasmine Crockett. There are so many attacks that come from everywhere toward this young lady. And she's somebody that I do always think about and worry about. And I just don't know how she's able to get up and speak so forcefully and just keep her head on straight, keep her head on a swivel, but still just remain someone who she's admirable. I really love her. Yeah, I'm looking at Jeffries sideways lately. That's Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader of the House. There is a huge race going on. Mamdani, I think his name is. There is a Democrat that is running for mayor of New York. We all know how terrible Eric Adams is. I think he's trying to run as an independent. He's a maggot. He is into the orange clown, which surprised me about Eric Adams because he used to be a police officer and he used to be over 100 Black police officers, and they were always fighting racism within NYPD, and then to turn out that he is a maggot, I was really surprised about that. But Hakeem Jeffries has repeatedly been asked if he is going to endorse the person that is running on the Democratic ticket for mayor of New York, and he won't commit to it. And they think it's because he gets a lot of money from AIPAC, which is the the Israel League. They're a group that have put a lot of money in politics, and they have so much influence that people are not able to, or they have been unwilling to vote the way that they should vote for their own constituents when they've received that money. So unfortunately, Hakeem Jeffries is one of those people that have been compromised. Senator Cory Booker as well. So I feel like anybody's seat can be up. Anybody can get it. You can run against anybody in the primary, get him up out of there if he's not going to do the right thing. Much as I used to like Representative Jeffries, I would like to see him go if he's going to lose his voice on certain issues. So I'd like to see him get up out of there. Because then I think Andrew Cuomo, who used to be governor of New York, wants to step down. I think it's a downgrade to be mayor of New York City after you were governor of a state. He's running as an independent, I believe. So what they're trying to do, they don't want this young man to get in there. We'll see what's going to happen. Angel Reese is on fire. She is an excellent businesswoman. Yeah, I don't like how the Chicago Sky is handling her. That's her team. I don't think that they do with her what they should, because of course, well, thankfully the other lady that they always used to put her up against, Caitlin Clark, and her fans who are terrible. The Indiana Fever fans are terrible. When our young ladies play in that stadium, they always get harassed. There's always somebody that's thrown out for harassing the players. Just think of how the people that used to root for Larry Bird would be, and then you'll get 10 times worse the Caitlin Clark fans. But Angel just returned from, I think there was something with her back. She had been in rehab for her back, but she's back playing. So I just see her as a source of inspiration. Her, Representative Crockett, so many, of course, young Black women. And you don't just have to be young, you just have to be somebody standing in your square, standing for what's right. The 92%, I don't know how everybody else didn't know if we knew. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully things will be turned around. A lot of that 300,000 will start to get jobs back, or at least this national nightmare of this orange clown, this Cankles, will be up out of here. I mean, I don't really believe in Grim Reaper, but I mean, it's got to be true. So I don't know how everybody's number coming up but his. So we'll see what happens. I think it's kind of like a weekly watch where we're just waiting to get that news, and it'll come soon. But thank you, everybody who has come back to Sandra P's political discourse. Mainly, I just wanted to speak about MLK, October 14th, and lift up Representative Jasmine Crockett. And everyone, later on in the week, I know I have my Real Housewives of Miami that I'll do. And then I think it's going to be the finale because we have the reunion coming up pretty soon. If you didn't get to watch my Salt Lake City recap, whether you watch the show or not, I do appreciate your support when you listen to the reviews anyway. That is up. Heart and Hustle Houston is up. King's Court is done with, but the last review that's up is, I don't think there was a winner. Cece was in here one day making me laugh. Said, are the men the prize? I don't know. I guess they were, because one person walked away by himself, which was Tyson. Two of the other men walked away with relationships. So if you haven't listened to that review or saw that review for King's Court, you're welcome to go over there on my page. Please like. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But thank you, everyone who has dropped in. Team Replay, thank you so much. And I will see you in the YouTube streets. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Bye.